Welcome back to Car Flash Drive, where we bring you the latest in automotive excellence. Today, we're diving deep into the brand new 2026 Genesis G80, a mid-size luxury sedan that doesn't just compete with the Germans, it challenges them with finesse, value, and a design language that continues to mature in all the right ways. Let's start with the impression this car gives at first glance. Park it beside any E-Class or 5 Series and you'll immediately notice how confident and fresh the Genesis looks. The 2026 model brings a subtle but meaningful evolution of its award-winning design. The front fascia still wears the signature crest grille, but it's been reshaped slightly wider and more refined with a new mesh pattern that looks like jewelry under sunlight. Flanking the grille are the familiar split quad-LED headlights, which now use micro-lens array technology for sharper beam control and a sleeker daytime running light signature. From the side, the G80 maintains its elegant proportions. The long hood, short front overhang, and gracefully arched roofline create a silhouette that's both athletic and sophisticated. Genesis has tightened up the character lines just a bit for 2026, making them crisper, especially the belt-line crease that flows from the front fender to the rear taillights. Flush-mounted door handles are now standard across all trims, contributing to a smoother, more aerodynamic profile. The new 20-inch turbine-style alloy wheels look particularly bold, especially on the sport trim, with its dark chrome and shadowed accents. As we move to the rear, the changes are subtle but effective. The taillights retain the signature two-line motif, but the internal light structure has been updated with a more 3D visual effect when lit. The rear bumper is more sculpted now, with integrated exhaust outlets that actually match the powertrain's output, a small but appreciated touch. The Genesis lettering remains clean and spaced out along the trunk lid, adding to the upscale look. And speaking of upscale, the paint finishes on the 2026 model are truly top-tier. New shades like Capri Blue Matte and Umber Green Metallic bring a richness that's usually reserved for cars twice the price. Let's step inside, where the G80 has always been a standout in the segment. Genesis didn't reinvent the interior, but they did refine it with new materials, updated tech, and even more attention to detail. You're immediately greeted by soft ambient lighting that now runs across the upper dash and down the doors. The horizontal layout remains, but Genesis has integrated a new 27-inch panoramic OLED display that merges the digital instrument cluster and infotainment screen. It's seamless, high-res, and highly intuitive, especially with the updated Genesis UI 3.0 software. Material quality remains outstanding. Whether you choose the Nappa leather or the new Eco leather option, everything feels rich and thoughtfully put together. Real wood trim, open-pore ash or forged carbon depending on the trim flows across the cabin, and the switchgear now has knurled metal accents that feel expensive under your fingers. Even the back vents have been reshaped for a cleaner, more modern flow, and the touch-sensitive controls for climate have haptic feedback that actually works well, something we can't say for most competitors. Seating is as plush as ever. The front seats offer heating, ventilation, massage, and even posture-correcting adjustments. Rear passengers aren't left out either. The available executive rear seat package brings powered recline, rear seat ventilation, sunshades, and even a separate climate zone with its own touchscreen control. And with increased sound insulation, dual-pane acoustic glass, and active noise cancellation, the cabin is now one of the quietest in its class. Under the hood, the 2026 Genesis G80 offers familiar powertrains with a few key refinements. The base engine remains a 2.5-liter turbocharged inline-4, now tuned to deliver 310 horsepower and 311 pounds-feet of torque. It's paired with an updated 8-speed automatic transmission that shifts smoother and faster thanks to improved software mapping. Rear-wheel drive is standard, while all-wheel drive is optional on most trims. Step up to the 3.5T Sport model and you get a twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 that now puts out 400 horsepower and 405 pounds-feet of torque. It's a powerhouse that offers effortless acceleration and a deep, satisfying exhaust note. The sport trim also benefits from rear-wheel steering, adaptive suspension, and a limited slip differential, making it surprisingly nimble for a luxury sedan of its size. In terms of performance, the G80 doesn't try to be a hardcore sport sedan, but that's a good thing. It balances comfort and confidence beautifully. The steering is light but precise, and the ride quality, especially in comfort mode, is buttery smooth without being floaty. In sport mode, the chassis tightens up and gives more feedback, especially with the electronically controlled suspension actively adjusting to road conditions in real time. For those interested in electrification, the Electrified G80 returns in 2026 with a few enhancements. Range is now estimated at 310 miles on a full charge, thanks to a new 87.2 kWh battery pack and improved thermal management. Dual motors produce a combined 365 horsepower and 516 pounds-feet of torque, giving it plenty of thrust when needed. It supports 350 kilowatts DC fast charging, allowing a 10 to 80% charge in about 18 minutes under ideal conditions. It remains rear-biased in feel, which adds to the driving enjoyment, and the silence of the electric drivetrain pairs perfectly with the car's luxury mission. Now let's talk pricing. Genesis has always undercut the competition while offering more standard features, and the 2026 G80 continues that tradition. The base 2.5 TRWD starts around $55,000. While the AWD version adds about $2,500. Move up to the 3.5 T Sport AWD and you're looking at roughly $68,000. The fully loaded Prestige models can touch the mid-$70K range, but they include nearly every luxury, tech, and safety feature you could want. Meanwhile, the Electrified G80 starts at approximately $75,000, before incentives, and qualifies for certain F-tax credits depending on your region. All models come with Genesis outstanding 5-year/60,000 basic warranty and 10-year/100,000 powertrain coverage, plus complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years. That peace of mind is a big part of the G80's value proposition, especially compared to German rivals that charge extra for nearly everything. Genesis continues to load the G80 with advanced driver assistance systems as standard equipment. Highway Driving Assist 2 is smarter than ever, with smoother lane changes and more natural adaptive cruise behavior. There's also the new Remote Smart Parking Assist 2, which lets you maneuver the car in and out of tight spaces via your key fob or smartphone app. Add in standard forward collision avoidance, blind spot monitoring with camera feed, rear cross-traffic alert, and a 360-degree surround view monitor, and you've got one of the safest sedans on the market. In a market increasingly dominated by SUVs, the Genesis G80 proves there's still a place for a beautifully crafted, mid-size luxury sedan that puts design, comfort, and performance at the forefront. It doesn't chase trends, it creates its own identity. With the 2026 model, Genesis refines the formula even further, giving buyers more reason than ever to skip the usual suspects and go with a brand that's now proven its place at the table. If you're cross-shopping the G80 with a BMW 5 Series, Audi A6, or Mercedes-Benz E-Class, this car demands a test drive. It may not have the badge cachet yet, but it delivers everything a modern luxury sedan should: a style, substance, and smart value wrapped in a package that continues to impress every time you slide behind the wheel. That wraps up our in-depth look at the 2026 Genesis G80. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-world car content, straight from Car Flash Drive. Drop your thoughts in the comments. So what do you think of the new G80? Is it on your shortlist? Would you go gas or electric? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. Thanks for watching.